My name is Michael Glasker. I'm from Newport News, Virginia. I'm the co-founder of Always B.I.Y. And today I'm gonna walk y'all through the top 5 pieces in my closet. So the first one I'm gonna talk y'all through is the mesh cardinal rule jacket. So this jacket, super luxurious. The mesh fabric only sold in Europe, only come in 2 colors right now. So it's not your typical kind of sports mesh. It's more of a premium mesh. You see all of the graphics on them are embroidery, the B.I.Y logo, the cardinal, which is kind of like where the title of the jacket come from, the cardinal rule. The most important rule is to believe in yourself. But also I'm from Virginia, and the cardinal is the Virginia bird, so kind of paying homage to where I'm from. On the sleeves, we have the chenille patches, the chenille embroidery patches. What would B.I.Y do? We will believe in ourselves. On this sleeve, it's a quote that reads, "My biggest fear in life is being average. So every day I'm chasing after all that I imagine." So, just telling you to always believe in yourself, be ambitious, go and get whatever it is that you want out of life. We got the handprint logos up here. That's a deeper story, but I kind of got it from my son. I guess top summary is, I feel like kids have the most vivid handprints in the world. Before the world gets to them, before they're jaded or anything of that nature, a kid is most uniquely themselves. So it's kind of like that reminder, try to keep your handprint prominent, try to be who you are. And then on the back, we got the embroidery, love, believe in yourself. They always say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and every garment that we make is a message. It's more than 1,000 words. It's just a message to you. And our way of signing off on the back is love, believe in yourself. So this is the mesh cardinal rule jacket. This dropped in 2024, was conceptualized in 2023, but actually came out in 2024. And this is definitely one of my favorite pieces. So next is an LV bag. Most of my favorite pieces is from my brand, but this is one of the few exceptions. I personally got an affinity for yellow product. I don't know what it is about it, but I love yellow products. So this kind of jumped out to me. It's also just the modernization of such a classic, iconic item, this damier print, which we've always seen in like different shades of brown. So having that yellow pop on it just felt like the perfect intersection of high-end fashion and streetwear. So that was definitely something that I'm a huge fan of. And then also, I told you I'm from Virginia. It's super Virginia over everything. So this is from Pharrell's first collection that he did. So, I definitely had to have that. This was one of the ones that everybody was going crazy for. The B.I.Y on the bag tag. And then just giving some game to the entrepreneurs. It's a little bit of an investment, because a lot of times when you're trying to have dialogues with people about certain things, they might treat you a little different depending on what your presentation is. So this is a part of the presentation. I really love the leather buckle on this bag as well. I'm gonna get into this with the next garment that I show you, but this is just something that's super subtle but super premium that I'm a huge fan of. So yeah, this is my go-to bag. Anytime I go anywhere, I always got this with me. So then the next piece, the B.I.Y Creation of Adam hat. This is just one of the more premium pieces. It's ultimately wearable art. Everything we do, I try to make it wearable art. So this is like art for your head. The B.I.Y embroidered, puff embroider logo, the energy bars. The energy bars is just a part of our visual center. Something that if you see it, even if you don't see the B.I.Y logo, you know it's B.I.Y. Also, just to, make it clear, B.I.Y stands for believe in yourself. So, you know, that's super important to have on the garments. We got the embroidered patch. This is kind of a reference from a piece of art called The Creation of Adam. Without getting too deep, we kind of changed the hues of the hands, and that's kind of tying back and signifying to what color the first people were that got here. But you could do your homework on that. So, the creation of Adam hand patches. And then on the back, we got that same leather strap buckle as the LV bag right here. So trying to keep this as pristine and as premium as we, possibly can, and really just giving you wearable art for your head. So yeah, this is the Creation of Adam hat. So then the next piece, these off-white Air Force Ones. Where I'm from, we call them fat heads. So when I say fat heads, that's how I'm gonna refer to them. But these off-white fat heads, these all yellow ones, as I said, I got an affinity for yellow product. And then these for me, they almost like a superhero cape. You know, I grew up hooping. I hooped my whole life. When I had on Iversons, when I had on Jordans, I felt unguardable. I felt like it was nothing anybody could do with me. And now in this phase of my life, especially when I'm tapping more into my creativity and my thoughts, Virgil was someone that was super inspirational. And these are almost like my superhero cape now. So when I wear these, I just feel a little more creative. It kind of helps remind me to think outside of the box a bit. And I was at Nike when he dropped this pack. You know, I was Virgil, somebody that's super cool. I got connected to him, was texting him about doing a collab. I was working in Nike basketball apparel at the time, so I was trying to do a collab with him on some apparel. And he was just texting me like, yeah, you know, I got this little project that I'm working on. If that don't work out, then we definitely gonna make it happen. And then like 3 weeks later, they posted he had 10 shoes coming out basically. So, but yeah, these is just artwork for your feet, to be honest with you. Super iconic shoe. I definitely beat these to death. They match everything, and I just like how I feel when I have them on, to be completely honest with you. So yeah, these off-white fat heads. And then the last piece is the B.I.Y. BMX bike. This is super iconic to me because I grew up riding BMX bikes, you know. I had like the Huffy and the Schwinn, and I had a homie that had a dyno that I really wanted with the pegs and the megs and all of those things on it. So riding a bike was just super important for us. It was like our first source of transportation. So when I first got the opportunity, you know, I knew I was going to make my own. And on this one, if you look at the seat and the rail accessories, we cut up a shirt that was a part of our first collaboration. So when I first left corporate America, my first collab, B.I.Y. collab, was with Slam magazine. So this shirt was the collab piece that we had that was in the magazine. Myself and my wife had a whole spread. This was in the magazine. So we utilized that shirt to make the accessories on the bike. Painted the bike yellow, as I told you. I got an affinity for that. The Believe in Yourself graphic and logo on it, the energy bars, the custom handlebar grips. We painted the pedals pink, kind of B.I.Y. pink is what we call it. And then we got the tires made custom as well. So this is just super iconic for me because having a fire BMX bike was something I always wanted, but my peoples couldn't afford when we was growing up. So to be able to make my own, you know, was just something that I had to check off the list. So yeah, this is what we call rideable art. And this has been the top 5 pieces in my closet. I appreciate y'all.